Myth 3. Parents alone shape a child's future. Have you ever noticed how much pressure modern parents carry? From the moment their child is born, they're told that almost everything depends on them. Read the right books, choose the right toys, feed the right foods, speak the right words, limit screen time, encourage independence, build confidence, teach kindness, teach resilience, protect mental health, support emotional intelligence, and somehow, while doing all of that, don't make mistakes. Because, according to modern culture, your child's future is almost entirely your responsibility. But was it always this way? Imagine a child living 15,000 years ago. They wake up not inside a quiet suburban home, but inside a small camp. Around them, people are already awake. Someone is preparing food, someone is repairing tools, someone is telling stories. Children are already playing together, grandparents are watching. Older teenagers are helping. Adults move freely between one another. Now ask yourself, who is teaching this child? The answer is almost everyone. And anthropologists who have studied hunter-gatherer societies notice something remarkable. Children rarely spend their entire day with only their mother or father. Instead, they interact with dozens, sometimes even hundreds of different people over the course of childhood. Every conversation teaches something. Every shared task teaches something. Every story teaches something. Every older child becomes a teacher. Every grandparent becomes a living library. Even people who aren't related often become trusted caregivers. Anthropologists call this alloparenting. It simply means that caring for children is shared among many people, not just biological parents. And interestingly, humans are one of the few species where this happens on such a large scale. Now think about your own childhood. Can you remember a teacher who changed your life? A grandparent whose advice still stays with you? A coach who believed in you? An uncle who inspired you? A neighbor who made you feel safe? For many people, those memories last a lifetime. Because children don't only learn from the people who raise them, they learn from the people who surround them. And here's something that surprises many parents. Research in developmental psychology shows that children are extraordinary social learners. From infancy, they're constantly watching who smiles, who shares, who comforts, who gets angry, who solves problems, who tells stories. Long before children understand the rules, they're observing the people living those rules. They're learning not just from instruction, but from participation. That's exactly how our ancestors learned. There were no classrooms, no YouTube tutorials, no parenting podcasts. Children learned by watching, by copying, by helping. A young child might spend the morning watching someone make a fire, the afternoon following older children through the forest, the evening listening to stories around a campfire. Learning wasn't a scheduled activity, it was daily life. Now compare that to today. Many families live far away from grandparents. Neighbors barely know each other. Children spend more hours indoors. Parents often feel they must become teacher, coach, psychologist, nutritionist, storyteller, and entertainer, all at once. It's exhausting, not because modern parents aren't capable, but because they're attempting a job that evolution rarely expected one or two adults to do alone. This doesn't mean children need a literal village to thrive. Modern life is different. Many families don't have large communities nearby, but the principle may still matter. A caring grandparent, a trusted teacher, a loving aunt, a supportive neighbor, a family friend, a coach, a mentor. Each one adds something a parent simply cannot replace. Not because parents aren't enough, but because children have always grown through relationships, not isolation. And perhaps that's why so many parents feel guilty for asking for help. Some believe they're failing if someone else looks after their child. Yet for most of human history, accepting help wasn't failure. It was normal, it was expected, and quite possibly it was one of the reasons our species became so successful. But here's a mystery that anthropologists still find fascinating. If children spent so much time learning from other people, why didn't they simply copy everyone? How did they know who to trust, who to imitate, who to ignore? The answer reveals one of the most remarkable abilities inside the human brain. Because children aren't just born to learn, they're born to choose who they learn from. And that brings us to our next myth. Myth 4. More toys create smarter children. Walk into almost any baby store, and you'll see an entire aisle promising to make your child smarter. Educational toys, sensory toys, brain development toys, Montessori toys, STEM toys, flashcards, interactive books, electronic learning devices. Some even promise to boost intelligence before your baby can even speak. As parents, it's easy to think, if I buy the right toys, my child will have a better start in life. But here's a question, one that's rarely asked. If toys are the secret, then how did humans become the most intelligent species on Earth before toys even existed? Imagine a baby 20,000 years ago. There are no colorful plastic blocks, no battery-powered learning toys, no musical activity centers, no alphabet puzzles, no baby gyms. So what surrounded that child? Faces, voices, nature, movement, fire, animals, water, trees, stones, leaves, and most importantly, people. For almost every waking hour, babies watched. Someone doing something meaningful. Someone making tools. Someone preparing food. Someone weaving baskets. Someone repairing clothing. Someone telling stories. Someone laughing. Someone singing. Someone solving problems. The world itself became their classroom. Now here's something remarkable. A newborn baby doesn't understand language, but within months, their brain is already working incredibly hard. They're watching where you look, listening to the rhythm of your voice, studying your facial expressions, learning which sounds belong to their language, trying to predict what you'll do next. They're not simply playing, they're collecting data. Every second, every smile, every conversation, every shared glance. Their brain is building the foundations of human intelligence. Scientists have discovered that one of the strongest predictors of early language development isn't the number of toys inside a home. It's the quality of responsive interaction. Simple moments like talking during diaper changes, singing songs, reading together, responding to your baby's sounds, and having back-and-forth conversations, even before they can speak, provide rich opportunities for learning. Notice something. None of those require expensive products. Now, this doesn't mean toys are useless. Far from it. Blocks can teach spatial thinking. Puzzles can build problem-solving skills. Pretend play encourages imagination. Construction toys support creativity. Many toys are wonderful tools, but here's the key word: tools. A hammer doesn't build a house by itself, and a toy doesn't build a child's brain by itself. What transforms a simple toy into a learning experience is often the person playing alongside the child. Think back to your own childhood. Can you remember every toy you owned? Probably not, but chances are you remember who played with you. The parent who built towers just so you could knock them down. The grandparent who made funny voices while reading stories. The sibling who turned an empty cardboard box into a spaceship. Those moments weren't memorable because of the object. They were memorable because of the connection. And here's perhaps the most surprising discovery. Researchers studying hunter-gatherer children have observed that children often create their own toys from whatever surrounds them. A stick becomes a fishing rod, a rock becomes treasure, leaves become pretend food, a fallen branch becomes a horse. The object itself isn't what's magical, the imagination is. Children don't naturally separate learning from play. To them, they're the same thing. Now compare that to modern life. Sometimes we worry that our child doesn't have enough toys, enough activities, enough stimulation, enough enrichment. But perhaps the better question isn't, does my child have enough toys? Perhaps it's, does my child have enough opportunities to explore, to imagine, to ask questions, and to connect with people? Because history suggests that those experiences have shaped human minds for hundreds of thousands of years, long before the first toy store ever opened. But here's where the story becomes even more unexpected. If children didn't need constant entertainment, then why do so many modern parents feel guilty whenever their child says, "I'm bored"? Could boredom actually have served an important purpose throughout human evolution? The answer might completely change the way you think about play, creativity, and childhood itself. Because our next myth is one almost every parent hears. Myth 5. Good parents keep their children entertained all day. Imagine it's Saturday morning. Your child says, "I'm bored." Almost instantly, many parents feel a strange sense of responsibility. Maybe I should plan an activity. Maybe I should buy something new. Maybe I should be playing with them right now. Some even feel guilty if their child spends just a few minutes doing absolutely nothing. But here's a question. when did boredom become a parenting emergency? Because for almost all of human history, children spent far more time without organized entertainment than with it. Imagine a group of children living 15,000 years ago. There are no tablets, no television, no organized sports, no birthday play centers, no educational YouTube videos, no weekend schedules filled from morning until night. So what did children do? At first glance, it seems like nothing, but look closer. One child is stacking stones. Another is following insects. Someone else is climbing a fallen tree. A few older children have invented a game with sticks and imagination. No adult planned the activity. No one gave instructions. The game simply emerged. Anthropologists who have studied hunter-gatherer societies noticed something remarkable. Children often spent large parts of their day playing free with other children. Adults usually remained nearby, working, talking, preparing food, or making tools. But they didn't constantly direct every moment of children's play. Instead, children explored, experimented, negotiated, argued, invented rules, solved problems, and then changed the rules all over again. To an adult, it might have looked like random fun. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary was happening. Every pretend game was teaching social skills. Every disagreement was teaching negotiation. Every climb was teaching risk assessment. Every failure was teaching problem solving. Play was never just play. It was childhood's classroom. Now compare that to modern life. Many children move from school to organized sports, to music lessons, to tutoring, to carefully planned activities. Even free time often comes with instructions. Color inside the lines, follow the steps, press the right button, complete the challenge. Without realizing it, we sometimes replace exploration with entertainment. Here's something fascinating. Developmental psychologists have found that when children have opportunities for self-directed play, they practice skills that adults can't easily teach through instruction alone. Planning, creativity, decision-making, emotional regulation, cooperation, conflict resolution. Because when adults solve every problem, children lose the chance to solve some themselves. Now, this doesn't mean parents shouldn't play with their children. Those shared moments are incredibly valuable. Reading together, building together, laughing together, creating memories together, those moments strengthen relationships. But there's an important difference between playing with a child and feeling responsible for entertaining them every waking minute. Children don't just need engaged parents. Sometimes they also need space. Space to wonder, space to experiment, space to make mistakes, space to become the authors of their own games. Think about your own childhood. What do you remember most? Was it every toy someone bought for you? Or was it building a fort out of blankets, turning cardboard boxes into castles, pretending the floor was lava? Those games weren't designed by adults. They were designed by children. And perhaps that's exactly why they were so unforgettable. Here's an interesting thought. Throughout human history, children didn't become creative because adults constantly entertained them. They became creative because they had moments when nothing was planned. Moments when boredom quietly whispered, "Go create something." Maybe boredom was never the enemy. Maybe it was the beginning of imagination. But then another question appears. If children learned so much through play, observation, and community, where did discipline fit in? Did ancient parents constantly correct every mistake? Did they punish every act of disobedience? Or did they understand something about children's behavior that many of us are still trying to figure out today?